If you need any Ultimate Team coins, head over to footcoinking.com. There's a link in the description, and if you use my discount code CHES, CHES, as you can see on screen, you'll get yourself an extra 5% off. Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again. Welcome to episode number 19 of the Dortmund career mode. Now, in the last episode, I asked you guys what your response was to potentially signing a contract with the German FA, and you guys most definitely probably about 98% of the comments were saying yes, most definitely accept the offer to take the German national team to Brazil for the World Cup in 2014. So hopefully we'll be able to match the efforts of the German national team this past summer in real life in between Season 1 and Season 2 here in the Borussia Dortmund career mode series. But of course, we're pushing forward in the Europa League, and we've got the second leg of the round of 16 against Red Bull Salzburg away from home here in Austria, of course. So, of course, as you can see on your screen, we are 1-0 up from the first leg at the Wildwasserstadion. So we're hoping to get an away goal as early as possible so that we can, fingers crossed, put the tie beyond any reasonable doubt before half-time. That was at least the overall plan, and Aubameyang somehow manages to squeeze that ball to Marco Reus, and somehow the goalkeeper manages to keep it out from going over across the line. And we stay at 0-0. Fantastic goalkeeping there, not only to save the first shot, but to be able to show the presence of mind to get up, race back to his goal line and palm it clear. Then Aubameyang was being used again down the left hand side, whips the ball in. This time, unfortunately, Marco Reus just gets out muscled for the header, can't quite get the angle on it he wants, and we headed in at half time at 0-0. It was a very, very slow opening first half. Of course, we absolutely destroyed Borussia Mönchengladbach at the end of the last episode on Friday. If you didn't see that, there is an annotation to it there is a link to it as an annotation on screen, should I say, in the bottom left hand side of your picture. But we're going to pick up a corner here in the 50th minute, just after half time, and it's a good delivery from Marco Reus, in fact, and there is going to be a man underneath. It is the defender Socrates. Unfortunately, a very, very powerful header isn't quite directed into the top corner, and again we stay at 0-0. But good work from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang here to pick the ball away from the defender, races away, trying to use that pace, and Gundogan gets the ball through to Reus somehow with a deflection, but the goalkeeper again is on hand to make a good save. But of course, as things stand, we are going through on aggregate 1-0 to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Unfortunately, though, Eric Durm is going to pick up an injury there. He absolutely smashed to the ground after challenging for that header, and he's going to be out for about 4 weeks or so with a sprained knee, which is not exactly what we needed when Fabio Coentrao is out injured for 3 months with torn ligament damage in his knee. But you'll be able to see when he goes up, he absolutely flies to the ground and crushes. There's no surprise that he's got knee damage there, and unfortunately for him, he's going to be out for a few weeks. But we're still trying to make sure that we can get through to the quarterfinals here. They whip the ball in. We just about get the first header away, but it only drops as far as Mane, and we have to rely on Roman Weidenfeller to come up with an exquisite save to keep us in the game 10 minutes from time. And then it was a case of just trying to catch them on the counter-attack because they threw bodies at me, but Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang just says, "Get off me," to the defender. So 1-2 with Marco Reus, I think it was, and then smashes the ball into the top left-hand corner. And that's an away goal we need. And if, of course, Red Bull Salzburg want to go through, they're now going to have to score 3 goals in the next 5 minutes. And as you can see, we're now in second half stoppage time, so that's pretty much definitely not going to happen, and we're actually going to get ourselves a second goal here. Gundogan plays a nice 1-2 with Reus, continues his run from midfield, and it's a delightful lofted ball into the back of the net to give us a 2-0 win on the night, a 3-0 win on aggregate, and we are through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, there was a bit of a break in between this game and the next one. There was an international friendly break, and I don't want to show you anything from that because I didn't play the games with Germany. I just simmed them, and I didn't use any of my players in the squad either. I purposefully put them all in the reserves so that none of them played any part, so they could A, regain fitness, and B, prevent any sort of injuries whatsoever. So I guess it's an extra bonus to be the German national manager, considering we've got so many German national players in the international side. But as you can see, we're into the quarterfinals now of the Europa League. The next game was, in fact, in the European competition on a Thursday. We're into the quarterfinals. First game away from home this time against Saint Etienne, and Alessio Cerci Beautiful turn inside with a Berber spin, and then to finish that across goal into the bottom corner. We could not have asked for a more perfect start to the quarterfinals. 3 minutes, 2 seconds in, we have an away goal and a 1-0 lead. And as you can see, we're still in the opening 10 minutes. They're actually going to be really loose with possession here. Marco Reus wins it back. Ramos is going to find him with a gorgeous through ball over the top, and he races onto it. Another dink, similar to the Gundogan finish, and into the back of the net it goes. And 9 minutes in, it's just getting better and better. We find ourselves 2-0 up. Reus celebrating in front of the thousands of Dortmund fans that have travelled from Germany into France for this quarter-final game. And we're in a commanding position so early in the tie. But if you remember in the round of 32 against Braga, we also found ourselves 2-0 up in the first game away from home. And actually, towards the end of the second half, as our players tired, they got themselves back in it and were able to score 2 goals. And we said during that game that the next goal was crucial, and we needed a third to put the tie completely to bed, or at least the particular game in hand completely to bed. But the goalkeeper here on hand, as the goalkeeper was for Braga in the round of 32, and Saint Etienne kept themselves in it here, and we were going to have to be careful not to let them back in it. But as you can see, Ramos shows great strength there to shove off the defender. Nice turn as well to find Alessio Church on the outside of him. Finds Mkhitaryan, tries the spectacular with the volley over the shoulder. Doesn't quite come off for the Armenian. Unfortunately, we stay at 2-0. But you can see it is very much one-sided in the nature of the highlights, and that kind of shows you the exact way that this entire game went. We were very much on top for the full 90 minutes. Mkhitaryan, again, unfortunately, missing a decent chance, and Ramos is going to pick the ball up here. Shows good strength to hold the man off, and a good awareness to play the layoff to Alessio Church. He turns inside really, really well, and he's been playing fantastically well for me. Unfortunately, though, the goalkeeper with a tremendous cat-like reflex save up to his right-hand corner, and unfortunately we only come away with a 2-0 win, but they're 2 away goals, and we were crucially able to keep a clean sheet as well. So we've travelled back to Germany for the second leg, and we're going to be in a great position to send ourselves through to the semi-finals of the Europa League. And it would be great to do what we failed to do in the Champions League and win a European trophy, or at least get to the final of a European trophy. We wanted to do that in the Champions League. We were poor in the group stage, and fingers crossed we can do that in the Europa League. But we're back to Bundesliga action now in the third and final game of the episode. And as you can see, we're at home finally against Wolfsburg. They currently sit 5th in the table, only 10 points behind league leaders Schalke, 9 points behind us, but we do have a game in hand on the league leaders. So should we be able to win here against one of the best sides in Germany, you have to say, then we'd be in a great position moving forward to the last few games of the season, looking for that Bundesliga title. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang finds himself all on his own. I settled myself and all sorts for that shot, and he's so wasteful. That chance he took in the opening game of the episode to give us a 1-0 lead in the game against Red Bull Salzburg was kind of the only glimmer of hope that he's had in the past few games to actually, holding down a first team place. He has an open goal there and still decides to smash it straight at the goalkeeper. And I am most definitely thinking of moving Aubameyang on in the summer and perhaps finding someone that's a little bit more clinical in front of goal, someone that's a little bit more comfortable with the ball at their feet as well. And fingers crossed we can do that in the summer, because I do think I'm going to look to sell Aubameyang on. Again, another chance gobbled up by Benaglio. Unfortunately, the goalkeeper was just in fantastic form in the opening hour or so of this game, and we stay at 0-0. Pushing further deeper into the second half, though, Eric Durm pushes inside, scored a wonder goal on his right foot earlier on in the season. Aubameyang this time chooses to lay off Rice rather than taking the chance himself, and that is a finish above all. Really fantastic strike from Marco Reus from the edge of the box, and that in fact was going to be his last efforts on the pitch. He and Depay leave the scene, and Churchy and Smeltzer come on. Churchy obviously been in fantastic form for us recently, all season long in fact, and you cannot underestimate how delighted I am with the way he's been playing. I most definitely want to use him on FIFA 15 as well, but we had to be or have our wits about us rather defensively here, and we actually didn't in that particular instance. Fortunately though, despite the ball going into the back of the net, the goal was going to be chalked off due to an offside call, which was correct. The linesman was very much in line with that and was able to give the correct decision. Fortunately for us, they weren't able to equalise, but they did come forwards towards the end of the game. As you can see there, we were just enough pressure on the ball to miss the chance here. No pressure on the ball whatsoever, but fortunately, hand on heart, he was able to miss that chance heart in mouth. But fingers crossed, we'll be able to push on from this and win our remaining 6 or 7 games of the Bundesliga season. As you can see, we've played 28. There are 34 games in total, considering there are only 18 teams in the league, and we currently sit 2 points clear of our nearest rival, Schalke. Though Bayern do have a game in hand, and they'll only be 4 points behind us should they win that, so it's still all to play for when it comes to the Bundesliga title. But we do look like we're going to get Champions League football next season, which is of course the first thing to tick off the list, which is fantastic, and we're playing very, very well indeed. But that's going to bring this episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to leave the video a like if you did enjoy. That'd be absolutely superb. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're closing in on 16,000 subscribers here on Chesnoid Gaming, so there is a link as an annotation on your screen. There's also a link in the description if you can't click on annotations if you're on a handheld device, etc. And of course, feel free to check the channel page for anything you may have missed over the past few days, whether it's this series, the My Player series, or Luis Suarez's Road to Redemption, which will of course return to you tonight. But that's all from me for now. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you with the RTG tonight, and other than that, I'll see you next time.